People like to believe they make their own choices, their own style, their own opinions, their own behavior. But most of the time, they're copying someone else, and they don't even realize it. Stay till the end of this video, because once you understand why people automatically copy high status behavior, you'll start seeing it everywhere, and you'll never look at social dynamics the same way again. Let's start with something uncomfortable. People don't copy confidence, they copy status. And status is decided before logic ever shows up. Think about fashion trends. Why does a certain outfit suddenly feel right? Why does a word, a gesture, or a way of speaking suddenly become normal? It's not because it's better. It's because someone high status did it first. Here's the hidden rule. Humans mirror upward. Not consciously, not intentionally, automatically. Your brain is constantly scanning one thing in social environments. Who matters here? Once it decides that, it starts copying that person's behavior to reduce risk. This is survival psychology. Copying high status behavior signals safety. If the person with influence is doing it, it must be acceptable. This is why trends don't start with logic. They start with visibility. Watch how people behave around someone with authority. They start using similar words, similar tone, similar pace, not to impress, to align. This is why new employees slowly talk like their manager, why teams mirror the leader's mood, why friend groups adopt the habits of the most respected person. Nobody announces they're copying. It just happens. Here's the part most people miss. People don't copy what high-status individuals say. They copy how they behave. Posture, timing, boundaries, comfort with silence. Those things spread fast. Think about silence. If a low-status person stays silent, it feels awkward. If a high-status person stays silent, others adjust. Same behavior, different perception. Status changes meaning. This is why high-status people can break rules and low-status people get punished for the same behavior. The rule didn't change. The status did. Now let's talk about why this happens neurologically. Your brain wants to minimize social risk. Copying the person with influence reduces uncertainty. It's a shortcut. Instead of thinking, is this the right move? The brain asks, who's getting away with this? That answer becomes the guide. This is why people copy speech patterns, why certain phrases suddenly spread, why people adopt the same humor, why everyone suddenly gets a joke that made no sense a year ago. High-status behavior rewrites norms. Quietly. Here's where suspense comes in. Most people think influence comes from persuasion. It doesn't. Influence comes from being observed. The more people watch you, the more your behavior becomes a reference point. This is why influencers influence without convincing. This is why leaders shape culture without speeches. This is why authority spreads without force. Now here's the uncomfortable truth. If people aren't copying you, they're not watching you. And if they're not watching you, your status is low in that environment. That doesn't mean you're worthless. It means you're not yet a reference point. Watch what happens when someone with status enters a room. People adjust their behavior without instruction. They lower their voice. They change posture. They slow down. Not because they were told to, because status rewrites behavior. Now here's the part most people don't like. Trying to force influence never works. People resist pressure, but they follow examples. You can't demand to be copied. You can only be observed. So how do you become someone people copy without noticing? You stop trying to influence, and you start regulating. High-status people don't chase approval. They set pace. They don't over-explain. They don't rush reactions. They don't adjust constantly. Those behaviors send a signal. This is the norm. And humans align with norms automatically. This is why calm spreads, why confidence spreads, why boundaries spread. Now here's the usable rule. People copy whoever looks most comfortable breaking patterns. Comfort signals safety. Safety signals authority. Authority becomes the template. If you speak slower, others slow down. If you pause more, others wait. If you don't react, others hesitate. Your behavior sets the tone before your words ever could. Once you understand this, something shifts. You stop trying to stand out loudly. You focus on consistency. You realize influence isn't about attention, it's about gravity. High status behavior pulls others in, low status behavior pushes. And here's the final takeaway: people copy high status behavior without noticing because their brain is trying to stay safe. And whoever feels safest in the room becomes the example. Next time, I'll break down the rule that explains why eye contact changes conversations. And once you understand that one, you'll see how much power is exchanged without words.